when you found out that you had been cast in the film, not necessarily knowing exactly how it was going to turn out, of course, but were you told, all right, so you have to have a personality for Cameron and you have to have one for Tyler? What was the direction, like, just to get started with those two?
Right. Well, with the audition process, they said no both parts.
Okay.
So that's really, I mean, that's when I did most of my, discovery with these guys was through the audition process, because I knew that this was a project I wanted to be involved with no matter what.
So
like, I had to be a part. Yeah. So I just went into it head first and was like, figure this puzzle out,
Yeah.
And because it's Aaron Sorkin, it was so much easier to. Is that playing going to be a problem?
Fine.
Okay. Because it was Aaron Sorkin, it was so easy. He laid out so much for you that it was just like it just flew off the pages at
It's a
you.
gift
Yeah,
as an actor.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's the best. So going into it, I knew I got to know both parts. But then when we auditioned, I got there, and it was just with Aaron Sorkin, and I read just Cameron's part, and they were like, great, and I left, and I was like, okay, and then I went back a couple days later, and I got a call. It was like, Fincher wants to read with you now too. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure,
No
sure,
pressure.
yeah. And that's like when I got like nervous, And I went in there, and Josh was there when I went in for my audition. I was like, who's this guy? And basically they called us both in together, and Josh read Tyler, and I read Cameron. So I was like, oh, I guess this is just going to be the way we do it. Then maybe they'll play Fraternal Twins. And we read the scene a couple times like that, talked about it with Fincher and all that stuff. I tried not to let him know that my leg was shaking. And then basically I left. And we got a call a couple days later that was like, congratulations, they want you to be a part of this movie. You start rowing tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. And so it was never like fully explained in the beginning. But then after I'd say like about a week of rehearsals and pre-production, we got the call that, they both had to be identical twins because it was such a big part of these guys' story and lives. And sort of existence that
I don't think it would have worked as well if they weren't.
Yeah, and that's kind of the conclusion they came to, so then they just decided that I would play both of them.
Great.
And that was like probably the only call that can trump the initial call that David Fincher wants you to be in one of his movies,
Right. Yeah, that would be amazing. Because Cameron was the first one that you kind of read for and assumed you had, do you feel a closer bond to that character, so to speak? I mean, I don't want you to, like, not do justice to both.
Right. No, yeah.
I think maybe, like, if one has more screen time or more lines, and I'm not sure if they do,
Right.
but do you feel like one is closer to you as Armie Hammer, maybe?
I don't know. See, that's the funny thing about these guys. Okay, I'm going to get a little actor nerd for a second.
No, do it, please.
It's like these two guys are like a manifestation of the duality that we all experience within us. Like, do I want to make the right decision based on being a good person, or do I want to lash out and punch this guy in the face because he, cut in front of me at the grocery store line? Whatever it is, like, we experience all of that inside of us. These two twins experience it separate, but they still have to act as one unit together, like we have to act as like one individual person. So it was this weird thing where I respect Cameron's sort of, his sense of like chivalry. I respect his sense of like, there is a sense of right and wrong, and it's clear, and like I get that, and I kind of appreciate and I respect that, but also I think I have a fair share of Tyler in me. I think everybody does, that's sort of like,
the gut reaction.
Yeah.
And Cameron's the like, all right, well, I'm going to be wise and think about this before acting and what navigate the best path forward.
Which I think allows, like, at least in our movie, in the script, it allows like Cameron to be a little bit more of like a deeper, like complex, sort of conflicted guy, because there's something he wants to do, but he also doesn't want to do it because of what the implications are.
You can see that he's tempted to do what Tyler does, which is like, let's just go
yeah.
after the guy, but he's like trying to weigh and balance, like I want to be the gentleman of Harvard, but I also do want to get what's ours and like, go after this.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
So I attended a Q&A with Aaron Sorkin where he introduced All the President's Men.
Wow.
Have you seen that film?
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen it until the screen. I was like, well, Aaron Sorkin is saying this is like one of his, top movies of all time. I want to see it.
Yeah.
And the reason that it was kind of in context is because he's comparing The Social Network to All the President's Men. Because, All the President's Men is 1976, and so it's a different time, but the way he compared it was it's these non-fiction stories that are being made only a handful of years after the fact. It's not like this is 20 or 30 years ago. It's not like we're making a movie about the Civil War or World War II or something. It's just happening.
Yeah.
So he kind of felt a certain kind of need to, kind of tread lightly or tread carefully because these people are still alive.
Right.
And, all the President's Men you're talking about, Watergate, and, the President of the United States, and The Social Network you're talking about, someone who's arguably more powerful now. Mark Zuckerberg is like hugely powerful, in the world we live in with social networking and everything. So how did you approach playing these, existing living characters, but also exist in a film that you knew had such a great social significance now and then probably 10, 20 years from now?
Yeah.
Were you aware of that going into it?
A little bit.
Okay.
I mean, they are real people, so you know that because of the nature of Hollywood, when this movie comes out, it's like a loud noise, and more people are then going to associate, Mark Zuckerberg, well, maybe not Mark Zuckerberg, but at least the Winklevoss twins, more people will associate this movie with the twins than the twins themselves,
Right.
So you do have a little bit of that responsibility, but at the same time, we were told by someone, and I won't say who, but in the beginning of production, that we're not making a movie about Abraham damned Lincoln. Like, no one cares what hand you eat your pie with. Like, just do it. Mm-hmm. Like, so there is, like, the story is truth. Like, there is, a pervasive sense of, like, truth throughout the entire movie, but at the same time, because the Winklevoss twins weren't a hugely public figure like Mark Zuckerberg or Sean Parker, there wasn't all that much stuff that we could draw on as resources.
There's a little more space for you as the actor to say, this
more
is what
wiggle
we
room.
know.
Yeah.